Hi, my name is Fargo Holiday, and I've created a game called Mutant Hunters. And this is my very good friend, Hipster Han Solo, here to talk about it with me.
My name is Simon Sertinier, and I'm actually the design guy, essentially. I'm doing graphic design for it, as well as doing layout design for the final book. So first of all, Fargo, what is Mutant Hunters?
It's a game, Simon.
This jerk. What I mean by that is, what is it all about?
It's about 70 pages right now.
See what I mean? How does the game run? It's a D6-based game, right?
Yeah. So you roll D6, you get one-ish from your trait, and whatever the skill is. You roll against a target number, usually 4. If you get a 6, you can re-roll it to increase your total result, and if you beat the target number by, I believe it's triple, you get a super success, and you can go to the GM and go, I'd like to do something awesome!
Which usually results in explosions.
And now part of that is, once you've done a test like that, the trait that's associated with that skill reduces by 1.
So you mean you get tired?
You get tired, and you can actually end up crippled temporarily.
So, swinging around a giant battle axe, or, as you mentioned before in a different take, an anvil.
Yes.
That,
Fighter swinging an anvil all day cannot happen in this.
Okay. That's good, because, people do get tired. It's realistic that way.
And more importantly, it's dramatic that way. I can foresee things like, say, zombies in a regular game, not all that scary unless you make them
Super
really
zombies.
bad. Yeah. As it is in this, you could run really weak creatures. It's just if there's a million of them, you got to really start thinking about what's going on.
Yep. So that covers how the game runs. What about the setting?
Well, it's set in the far-flung future. I've left it very non-specific. Thousands of years. Basically, one day, creatures that call themselves vampires subjugate humanity. Oppress them for these thousands upon thousands of years. Genetically modify them to suit various tasks, mostly food. So that's the cattle genotype.
Right.
Which it looks more or less like a regular human. Very beefy, heartier than usual.
Better to make a soup out of.
Indeed.
Stew, actually. I'm seeing a stew.
Human is a braising meat. And anyway, one day, no one knows why, because we haven't written that expansion yet. The vampires all disappeared. Actually, I like to leave that open to GM interpretation as to what happened. But now these societies have to deal with that, because this was their society. And now the central pillar of it, this near omnipotent being, is just gone. And it's actually ideally set a little ways out from that. But that's the basic gist.
So I'm getting mutants, dystopian future, and vampires that aren't vampires. Where do the hunters come in?
Well, your players typically, unless you decide to jump format, start as poor dumb bastards that have been recruited to hunt down dangerous mutants. Because no one wants to deal with these things that they relied on strong vampires to handle before.
And your players are generally also mutants as well, right?
Typically the most horrifying things in the game.
Well, rather your player characters. Hopefully your players aren't mutants. So I'd say that pretty much covers the game, right?
I think so.
So how about why you should give us money? And by that I don't mean give this jerk money, because he's not actually in the business of stealing your money. He just has been working on this for 3 years. All of the money is going towards the project, I think. How is it divided?
Well, we've allocated, roughly, assuming we get all funding, about $500 for website improvements, $500 for graphics improvements, pictures, more artists.
My
whatever.
stuff.
Yeah. Whatever he needs. And we will take money from other things if we need to. And
He's making me sound greedy.
about $700 for printing costs, because I'd like to be able to have a store of books that we can get out to various convention things. The leftover is going towards fees, paying for perks, and things like that.
So with all of this, you've already got the book written, right?
Pretty much, aside from some sticky bits that need to be detangled. But the system itself is playable, has been played many times. Needs a little more playtesting. But
So even if we don't get the full funding, the PDF is going to happen. We're going to make our best efforts to print the books as the rewards for people who have donated at that level. And on that note, when do you anticipate getting these rewards out?
I believe it was earliest I was guessing we could get everything out would be about May, or starting to get things out, I should say.
Yeah, that's like the early bird rewards, right?
Yeah, well, some people will get PDFs, and that could happen, I figure, by the end of February.
Right.
Because, it's early access stuff, as we update the PDF, they get notified that there's a new PDF.
Right, so the May is for the actual print copy.
For print copy. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So on that note, why people should get money. First of all, this could have been a game that is all illustrated with stick figures and all of that, and it could have been successful. There are games that have done that very well.
Or the dreaded wall of text.
Or the dreaded wall of text. I'm not going to let it be a dreaded wall of text. If I have to work for free and do stick figure illustrations, I will. Because no wall of text. But that does bring up the good point that the more funding we get, the more pages we'll be able to print, which means that we will have more space to break up that wall of text. More space for preferably quality images.
And additional material, too.
And additional
To
material.
expand on the bestiary part of it and whatnot.
So on that note, I'm actually really briefly going to go into why I'm a part of this project.
It's because he's handsome and a responsible adult compared to me.
You don't want to tell potential funders that you're irresponsible. He is not irresponsible with your money, just to get that clear. First of all, I'm a part of this project not only because I'm this jerk's friend, because I have definitely, as a graphic designer, turned down friends for their projects before. I'm involved with this project because I see what it can become. I see how amazing it is as a system to play. I see how much fun it is to just come up with your characters and with designs, and I see that it could actually be something really, really solid in my portfolio as a graphic designer and as a layout designer to have this book on it. But again, that hinges upon your funding, that hinges upon our funding. And it really does come down to, I see that this could be an amazing game that people all over the world can enjoy.
Of course, that'll probably be another campaign where I then pay him to translate it.
Well, I might be able to for a couple of languages, but that's beside the point. On that note, thank you so much for listening and considering funding.
Yes, thank you for watching.